This is the Cubs Postcast, your instant game reaction for the Chicago Cubs. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome into the Locked On Cubs Postcast here on the Locked On Cubs YouTube channel. Joe George here with you, also on the Locked On MLB and Locked On Sports Today channel as well. The Cubs win 6-0. They force Game 5. Let's go. What a game to talk about today. From the lineup, Ian, Happ, Busch, Tucker, all of that stuff. Matt Shaw showed up in this game. We'll talk about Boyd. We'll talk about what we saw from the bullpen. We'll get through all of that here on the show, but we will start today's show off with our Locked On Player of the Game.
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
We'll get to Ian Happ. He deserves his flowers, but we got to talk about Matthew Boyd. Obviously, short rest in Game 1, only 3 days rest. It was not good. Everyone's questioning Craig Counsell in that moment after the game, but today he gets put back on the mound, and I can tell you, people don't feel easy about it. No one's feeling great before the game, but you need the best starter on your team right now because Cade Horton's out. Maybe he shows up in Game 5. We'll see. But you need Matthew Boyd to come through in this game, and he comes out there and does exactly what is needed. 4 2/3, 6 strikeouts, 3 walks, 2 hits on the day. Matthew Boyd is the Locked On Player of the Game today. He was excellent for the Cubs. The strikeout stuff obviously was working well for him. He had good command. He had good control of this game. That was so neat. We talked about it on yesterday's show. If the Cubs were going to win this game, they needed 2 things. They needed Matthew Boyd to get you at least 4 innings, and they needed to score runs after the first because all they do in this series is score runs in the first inning until today. But Matthew Boyd was absolutely excellent in this one. We'll get to who starts in Game 5. I think everyone's got takes and thoughts on who it's going to be. You guys will be welcome into the chat here on YouTube as well. But Matthew Boyd just gave you everything you needed in this game to get you to the bullpen, which has been unbelievable. I cannot say enough good things about the Chicago Cubs bullpen. Pretty much anyone that's gone out there has been dominant. The Cubs have only given up 1 earned run in the 5th inning or later in this series. They have been shutting down the Brewers for 4 games. The reason why this series is 2-2 and this series is not over and the Cubs have not won is because of the start from Boyd and Shota. But Boyd made up for it today in a huge way. Then he handed off to the bullpen. Daniel Palencia, 1 pitch, pop out, inning over. You're out of danger. And honestly, that to me could be the turning point of the game. We'll go somewhere else for that in a little bit here. But Daniel Palencia getting that out on 1 pitch, then coming back out there, getting the next 3 outs. He has been so nails in this role for the Cubs. I mean, he was great as the closer, and the fall off was happening quick. He gets hurt. But what he's been doing in this role, where he's been coming in the 5th or 6th inning in the postseason so far, Daniel Palencia has been awesome. I don't want to talk about the future too much, but seeing these kind of performances that we've seen from Daniel Palencia in this postseason, I think it reinforces what a lot of us thought during the regular season about him as the long-term future closer of the Cubs, because he just keeps going out there and shutting down the Brewers. He did it to the Padres, he's doing it to the Brewers, and the bullpen got started there with him. Drew Pomeranz, 1-2-3, 2 strikeouts, still the best story maybe of the Cubs this year, a 0.00 ERA. I mean, a guy that's basically been left for dead in Major League Baseball comes here and it's just been nails for the Cubs. And to have a perfect ERA and pitch as frequently as he has in the postseason is phenomenal. And it really doesn't matter at this point if it's lefties or righties. You can use him in pretty much any situation. But that's one move that is much grief, and rightfully so at times, as we give Jed Hoyer and this organization. That move has been nails for them. He proved it again today in this one. Then Brad Keller comes in. I heard Sam doing his show before me talking about this. I'm with Sam. I probably would have put Kittredge in the moment, but you know what? Hey, it worked out great. Keller comes in. He's got to be gassed. He's pitching every day. So is Kittredge. It's good they get a day off before Saturday's game because Keller's velocity definitely was ticking down just a tiny little bit, but he goes in there, gets his job, gets the big double play, hands it off to Caleb Thielbar, who continues to also be excellent in the postseason. Not as many appearances as Pomeranz, only 10 pitches to get out of the game, a perfect ERA as well, 0.00. I mean, the bullpen, the pitching performance you got in this one to shut out the Brewers, a team that fights and scraps, and that's a damn good baseball team. I mean, this is the team that wins this game is going to have on Saturday. It's going to be a huge challenge, obviously, with the Dodgers, but The Brewers are a very good baseball team. There's a reason why they passed you. There's a reason why they went up 2-0, but it says a lot about the Cubs pitching staff to be in this moment. Specifically, again, I think the Cubs bullpen to be in this moment where you get a chance to Game 5, go 90 miles north, go to Wrigley North, face the Milwaukee Brewers, and have a chance to win again. Cubs 3-0 now in elimination games this postseason. So the bullpen was just excellent. Let's get to now our turning point of today's game.
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
The turning point of this game, this is where we'll recognize Ian Happ because the Brewers didn't score in this one. We just talked all about the pitching. 2 runners on. Ian Happ comes up, puts it in the bleachers. 3-run home run for Ian Happ, who put a lot of good swings on here in the game today. Another one later to the warning track, another one to the Ivy, put a lot of great swings. It's so funny when you look at his career stat line against Freddie Peralta. I think he has 4 hits in his career against Freddie Peralta, but 3 of them are home runs. The aggressiveness that the Cubs have worked with in this series so far has been something they've done a lot this year, right? This is not new to the Cubs, like where they score early and don't score late. This lineup can attack a pitcher at the very beginning of a game. It's why I think an opener strategy will be really interesting if how that plays out for the Brewers, if that's the path they go on for Game 5. But to get that home run and just to put the swings together in this game that he did, you desperately needed it. You needed him to put those at-bats together. You needed Kyle Tucker to finally have a moment as a member of the Chicago Cubs. 107 miles an hour off the bat, opposite field home run. Kyle Tucker, who has been struggling the last 3 years in the postseason. I believe this was his first home run in the postseason since 2022. I'm pretty confident that's correct. The last time Kyle Tucker had a home run was 2022 in the postseason. The opposite field power there is something that for Tucker, that's when you really know he's going. The walks have been there in this series. We know he's great at the plate. So the turning point is Ian Happ, but maybe the turning point of this series, if the Cubs can win on Saturday, I think we're going to be looking back to this Kyle Tucker home run and saying that's the moment where the Cubs could have won this series in 5 games. We'll see what happens. Game 5 is going to be awesome. It's going to be stressful. Honestly, I'm glad this series isn't 7 games. I don't think I could take 7 games of this series because that's where it feels like it would go. But 7:08 on Saturday in Milwaukee. We'll get to your comments, your questions in the chat. We'll get to what you'll be talking about after this game, and then we'll start to talk about the other guys in the game today that we saw the positives. Carson Kelly, Michael Busch, can't say enough good things about him. Matt Shaw. We'll get to all of that stuff next here on the Locked On Cubs postcast. Today's show is brought to you by Rugiet. Guys, you've probably heard of Viagra or Cialis. Maybe you've even tried them. But if you're looking for something beyond the usual pill, it's time to meet Rugiet Go Long. That's exactly where it comes in for you. It's not just another ED pill. It's a total game changer for confidence. The effects can last up to 36 hours. That's confidence all day, all night, and even into the next day. The process is simple. Connect with a board-certified doctor 100% online, and if prescribed, your treatment ships discreetly right to your door. Ready to level up your confidence in the bedroom? Head to Rugiet.com. That's RUGIET.com. And use promo code LOCKEDONMLB for 15% off your first order. That's Rugiet.com, RUGIET.com. Promo code LOCKEDONMLB. And make sure you use our code so that way they know we sent you. And today's show is also brought to you by Gametime. There's nothing like catching a baseball game live. Hopefully, we got more than one of those left this season. The energy, the crowd, which has been incredible at Wrigley Field, seeing your team in person, it's all the best things about going to a game, but actually getting the tickets, that's the tough part. Queues, login screen, surprise fee, it takes all of the fun out of it. And that's why I use Gametime, the app that gives the advantage back to the fans. Gametime is fast, easy, and backed by the Gametime guarantee. You'll get 100% authentic tickets delivered on time and at the best price, plus all the fees are included, so the price you see is the price you pay. What are you waiting for? Listen to me. Get on Gametime, buy some tickets, go to Wrigley North. Make it as loud there as was at Wrigley Field today. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. That's promo code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off. Swipe, tap, ticket. Go download Gametime today. All right, hopefully the Cubs can put me on the injured list with my voice, and Kate Horton can come back on Friday. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think Kate Horton's going to be the guy in Game 5, unfortunately. I think just based on everything, like could they do a phantom injury potentially and find a way to bring him back? It's possible. I think that's the way the rules work in the league for the playoffs, but I doubt it. I think what we're going to see on Friday, actually, I was listening to Sam's post-game show. I think Sam nailed it. I think it's going to be Colin Ray for 2 or 3 innings, probably 2 innings. I think Shota Imanaga will take over. The only way to me Shota doesn't take over is if you're in a pocket of the lineup that's righty heavy. Maybe they go to Kittredge there or someone else, and then they hand it off to Shota Imanaga. But I think 4 of the first 5 innings are going to be covered in some combination of Colin Ray and Imanaga. Whether that's Imanaga starting and Ray coming in, I don't think they're going to ask him to go very far in this game. Same thing with Colin Ray. Honestly, I didn't think they were going to let Matthew Boyd go very far in this game, but he was dominating them. He had 6 strikeouts. He was phenomenal in this one. Every time the Brewers had a little bit of chance to make some noise, he was able to escape it. That's what the Cubs did this entire game. That's why they shut him out. But I think we're going to see Ray going first, followed by Imanaga, and then we're going to see this bullpen come through. And I think in a perfect situation, those 2 guys, Ray and Imanaga, will get you 5 innings. That's kind of why I think starting Imanaga might make the most sense. Let's say he gets you 2 innings, Yelich is coming up somehow, or a lefty's coming up. He gets the next lefty, hands it off to Colin Ray. Colin Ray gets the next 2 2/3 to hand it off to the bullpen. But I think that's going to be the plan. Unless Shota is the starter or Ray's the starter and they're out there mowing guys down, and you keep them out there until the 3rd time through the order, and that's when you make the change. Other things from this game we didn't talk about. Carson Kelly, home run doesn't count. But that was a really positive thing to see as well. I thought that I was really confused by what the broadcast was saying. I thought it was pretty clearly foul from the very beginning as they were showing the replays. They were really trying to confuse me out there, but that was a really positive thing to see. And Matt Shaw, 2 hits in this game. I mean, one of that, the RBI hit is the still frame of that is crazy. That thing is in the dirt. It's almost touching home plate. He goes down there, reaches out, gets it, gets the RBI single. Hopefully that can get him going a little bit, but he's played excellent defense. He's getting walks. So anything he can give you, in this game from an offensive perspective is just a positive in Game 5. You need him to be out there at third base, dominating the hot corner the way he has. He's so good for the Cubs there. Nico Horner, I mean, what can you say about him? Again, I think right now, like if the trend of today's game can continue into Game 5, the next guy you want to see have a big moment is probably Dansby Swanson. But the lineup was really good in this game. I mean, Michael Busch, what he's doing this postseason, and if we're going to do a player of the series so far before it's even over, it's Michael Busch. Honestly, I'm not sure there's another player on the Cubs that could overtake Michael Busch, win or lose on Saturday as the player of this series. Michael Busch has just been phenomenal in the postseason. Putting him in the leadoff spot, it's been something that's worked out so well for the Cubs. Just the power there at the top. I mean, we're seeing it from him. Feels like, it's basically every game at this point. So Michael Busch, great game. Kyle Tucker, again, the home run was huge to see. Ian Happ. But Carson Kelly and Matt Shaw, I think, deserve some shout outs in this one as well. All right, let's get to I've got this little nugget here I got for you guys. So only 10 teams have won. This is from ESPN stats. Only 10 teams have won a series after being down 0-2. There have been 90 series in postseason history that where a series has started 2-0. 17 teams have come back to force Game 5. Those teams' records are 10-7. So teams that force Game 5 that start 0-2 are 10-7 in that 5th and crucial game. That, to me, is a good sign because the pressure is flipped. It was win or go home for the Cubs. And the thing is, the pressure is still on the Cubs at the most extreme level because you're in the exact same situation as the Brewers. But to get it back to Milwaukee, history's on your side now a little bit. It wasn't really before the series. Coming back again, only 10 teams have won, but 10-7 in the 17 times in MLB baseball history that a Game 5 has been forced. The Cubs have a chance to make it 11-7. So honestly, there's just all good stuff in this game. So you guys' questions and comments are welcome in here. I love it. Why not us? Exactly. Why not? Why not us? Why not the Cubs? It's been a great season so far. 92 wins, and now you're feeling like you're so down after the first 2 games. Now the highs are so high Anything's possible on Saturday. I'm not a win guaranteer because I don't even know who's starting for the Cubs or the Brewers. I think Mizorowski is gonna be a big piece of this game. I don't think he's gonna start. I think their Brewers are gonna go with an opener and they're gonna hand it off to him. I mean, we saw how nasty he was, but even then, like the control wasn't all there in that game. Like I think the Cubs can get to the Brewers pitching staff early in this game, no matter what plan they roll out there. So it's going to be a fascinating game to see who the Cubs start. The lineup will obviously be the same. This is the lineup from now till the playoffs are over. They're not going to change it, which is good. I think you have to stick with this. And the reason why you stick with it, and even though we all ask for lineup changes, is for what you saw today. Ian Happ. Like everyone wants Ian Happ to be taken out of the lineup before this game, put on the bench. I get it. Put down in the order. I get it. That's why Craig Counsell's the manager of the Cubs, and we're not. Like, he trusts his guys. And that's why I think Shota's going to start, or at least be a big part of, Saturday's game, because Craig Counsell trusts his veterans. And I think that's why I expect to see Imanaga on the mound and not Colin Ray at the beginning. But really, either team, it can go either way. Mike says, Joe, this team is playing with a lot of heart. Yeah, look, heart doesn't always come when you're just winning. But, like, I know people were, in the chat here on YouTube, which isn't always a super safe place for work, I would say, are challenging the Cubs' heart after the first two games of this series. And I think a lot of that's just was the defeat that they were feeling, the way those series were going, scoring first in those games, and then, giving up leads and all those things that happen in the first two games of the series. But they're fighting, they're battling. And their manager is putting them in a position to win. I know we question Craig Counsell, and I think no matter what happens on Saturday, those questions will be fair. Even during the offseason, like even if the Cubs have a magical run in them, people will be questioning Craig Counsell's decision to start Matthew Boyd in Game 1 of the NLDS all summer long. All next year, it'll come up in conversation because that's what we do as fans, right? We question everything that manager does. But I think he's done a really good job of managing the series, specifically from the bullpen. Like that to me is what a manager does. Your organization, your manager, your GM, they all kind of, in my opinion, set the lineup together. Like you've got your analytics. This is just a group of guys that they have out there. It wouldn't shock me if Justin Turner leads off for the Cubs on Saturday if the Brewers throw a lefty. Don't want him to do it. Michael Busch's home run came off a lefty. Let Michael Busch play. No need for Justin Turner, even though he got the hit later on. I'd rather use him in a pinch hit situation at the back end of the game, honestly, than to start the game for the Cubs. But Craig Counsell's just, I think where a manager makes his most money right now is how he manages his bullpen. And he has been phenomenal. He has gone out there and he is pushing the buttons in the right way where it's pulling guys out, like how he had Boyd start that inning today before Palencia comes in to finish it off to get the lefties. He's just pushing the right buttons. And he has throughout this entire postseason. And the bullpen helps him with how dominant they've been. But Craig Counsell, as much grief as we gave him, and I think rightfully so, with maybe the decisions of who started Game 1 and Game 2 of this series, he's going to trust his veterans. He's going to trust his lineup order. And he's pushing the right buttons with the bullpen. And for those reasons, we're at Game 5. And that's what we're talking about. We're talking about Game 5, 7:08 on Saturday. And again, as the chat said, why not us? Let's see. Eric says, how much more will Counsell be hated if we pull out a win on Saturday? By Milwaukee? Dude, he's already public enemy number 1, Eric. That man is booed loudly in Milwaukee. But yeah, he will be public enemy number 1 by a million miles if the Cubs get the win on Saturday. Let's see. Annette says, do you think Craig Counsell has the upper hand when it comes to game decisions Murphy is likely to make because they manage the Brewers together? Probably not. I don't think there's an upper hand. The roster's pretty different. I heard Christian Yelich talk about that before the series started. That we're going to see, yes, Craig Counsell is there. First of all, they're managers. Like in baseball, it's not the same as it isn't, like in the NFL or the NBA even. But to see, I don't think there's a huge advantage one way or the other for the way that this series played out. Before we wrap up, shout out to the fans. I have so much FOMO not being able to be at these games. It was bumping at Wrigley Field. People kept tweeting, Alex Cohen kept tweeting out that that Wrigley Field was shaking. It looked like an incredible environment. So again, come on, Gametime, Locked On MLB. Use that promo code. get to Milwaukee and watch Game 5, Wrigley North. Let's take it over, and let's hopefully watch the Cubs get a W. We'll see what happens. It's going to be a great game. We'll be here for you. Matt and Sam will have their show for you as soon as the game is over on Saturday, and then I will go live as soon as they are done. Win or lose, hopefully a win for the Cubs. A great victory tonight to force Game 5 of this series. Remember, hit that subscribe button right here on the channel, as well as anywhere you get your podcasts on Apple and Spotify. Just search Locked on Cubs. You can find Matt and Sam's daily show during the regular season and all throughout the offseason as well. Thank you to everyone hanging out. It's midnight. It's past my bedtime. Not really. I'm not going to bed for a while. I'm amped. The Cubs won or forced Game 5. So thank you all for watching. We will talk to you on Saturday night